one time. Okay, Leslie, Marvelez,
Yes.
welcome. So
Thank
we
you.
have obviously you've sat through the gauntlet so far. Hopefully you will come on another time. Hopefully we haven't scared you off yet. But tell
Absolutely.
us tell us about yourself.
Myself. Geez, what
Yes.
would you like to know? It's a very broad question. Um, I was born in South Africa. I'm not originally Australian. I'm
Wow.
Afralian.
Wow.
So I came here when I was 11, which is why I kind of have the Australian accent, but kind of don't. Um, God, I did a bachelor in film in 2008. Sorry, I'm old now. Um,
Hey now,
yeah. What would
we're
you-
gonna be the same age.
I
Okay.
think that's when the first Hot Toys came out. No,
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe you were after more specifics, Zach.
Yeah,
No,
I
I think
could-
that's a good way to broach that subject.
Yeah, I'll
as
narrow
I
they
thought you
say.
sounded Australian, to be honest.
Yeah, I just
I'll give
introduce
you-
a topic and then the waves, they come afterwards.
Yeah. So
Being
I'll
posted.
ask one question and it's got a sub question. So
Cool.
what are
Alright.
some of your favorite properties to collect, like Star Wars or Marvel? And then a specific character or figure that stands out to you as your favorite.
Okay, I'll answer my favorite first because that's easier, which
Okay.
is the 1/6 scale Yondu. I love that. Love that
Solid
dude.
choice.
Yeah, I love him. I loved the character. He was amazing in both the first and second one. Of course, resonated with him more in the second one. And that head sculpt of Michael Rooker was just beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful head sculpts I've ever seen on a 1/6 scale figure. Look, he doesn't come anywhere close to you. You're a quarter scale, so that doesn't count. But that's definitely my favorite. No contest at all. And my favorite properties. It's a tough one because I love the Hot Toys figures of The Empire Strikes Back. I love them so much that I have pretty much all the bounty hunters and all the characters in 6-inch form from Star Wars Black Series. That's how much I love them. But the Empire Strikes Back line nowadays is not only hard to find, but the Han Solo and Chewbacca that we used to have, the material was so old and worn that it just kind of withered away in the box. And it was the same with our Indiana Jones figure, unfortunately. It was very sad. But look, the original Star Wars would have to be my favorite property. Marvel was my favorite until it became so broad. It became incredibly broad and varied that we just couldn't keep track. And although a lot of the figures in the Marvel line and even the DC line, god damn it, there's too many. Even the Marvel and the DC line, they became very broad as well. And now with the recent Star Wars, they're broad, just a lot of beautiful new characters coming into the woodworks. And yeah, Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Hot Toys for me. But I really didn't mind the 3-0 Transformers line. That was quite lovely. I just panicked when I held them, kind of. Because although they look beautiful and they've got some lovely weight from the die cast elements, I felt like I was going to break them and I couldn't pose them very much. I don't see them as very posable figures. So that would have been my second choice a while back. But yeah, no, ESB. ESB Hot Toys, guys.
Amazing answer.
Yeah.
Amazing. John, you're up next.
Thank you, Dean.
yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no
Oh my
problem.
God, Ben. Thank you so much, Ben. Jesus.
No worries, buddy. I got your back. Looking out for you. You're on the comfy couch. I don't want to make
I was dozing off. I'm sorry. I didn't know where I was for a second. I was in the multiverse. Leslie, can you tell us how things are different as an Australian collector?
Oh, goodness. I mean, it really varies. I mean, when I first started collecting, firstly, I had no idea who to collect from. You know, there's a lot of retailers out there now who want to be part of the 1/6 scale game. And it was easier for me to get Marvel Legends and Black Series because that's how I started. I started with 6-inch, and being in Australia, I'm not going to lie, it is very expensive. I mean, when I compare prices from Toys Wonderland, say, right? If I look at the regular version cable, it's 200 I think 70 Australian dollars, which is very agreeable, and that's before shipping. And then shipping, I think, is about 30 Australian. So that equates to just over 300. But when you look at Pop Culture, which is Australia's #1 site for collectible figures, 1/6 scale, quarter scale, 6-inch, 7-inch, you name it, that's the place you go. Because the import fees are included and the entity is trying to make a profit on top of that, they do end up being considerably more expensive. And then again, like I said before, we had the button batteries recently be banned. And every time it is sad. If I did purchase this guy, if I did try and purchase this guy from overseas, they'd take the batteries out.
That's crazy.
And it is very sad. If I had to say anything to Hot Toys, it would be for them to actually understand that struggle and to actually change, the source of the electric magical power. Make them USB or USB-C powered. I think that would help a lot of people globally, not just us. But it is a bit more expensive. A lot of figures are harder to come by, especially exclusives. It's just a bit more of a struggle, and it's the same, I think, for some UK places as well. But yeah.
Well, I also want to ask, actually, how do you replace watch battery? How do you tell time? No, I'm only kidding. That's just a little joke.
No, it's a great point, but I have a Garmin, so I don't need to.
It's the smartwatches over there now. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to finally just ask you tell us a little bit about your channel, because it is such a great channel, and the content that you're focusing on it and making.
Yeah, sure. So my channel is mainly focused around 1/6 figure news, as well as informed content and investigative pieces, like in art, for example, which I really enjoy. Them all like essay pieces and, utilizing, footage to entertain as well as inform the audience. And I love doing 1/6 scale figure news. It's what I used to do on Justin's channel way back in the day. I really enjoyed it. I missed it. And I love having fun with it. I love talking about figures. And
I thought I recognized you. I didn't realize that's where you were from. Okay. I've connected the dots now.
That's it. That's what I'm doing here, Marco.
Case closed.
But yeah. And it was, but thank you. I appreciate that. I lost my train
You also
of
have
thought.
your music
Sorry,
series.
No, it's okay,
derailed
Marco.
it.
It's totally fine. So I recently started uploading a few music clips. I didn't necessarily want it to be a music channel. I didn't want it to deviate from my main focus, but the first clip I uploaded was very well received. And I only wanted to do pop culture and film related soundtracks because I love those the best and I enjoy singing. So I thought, well, I'll filter it out. I won't flood the channel with it because I want to have a healthy balance of the content that I create. And my 1/6 figure news is going to be on Batman Statue Collector's channel as well for the licensed products. But I've decided to maybe do third-party figures on my channel at the moment because Chris can only have licensed items on his channel at the moment because he's a Sideshow affiliate. So I don't want to get him in trouble. And I do a few customs here and there. I've got a bit of an artsy side, so I love
those.
putting Yeah, I love putting paint to plastic sometimes. I really enjoy it. I do. I used to have an art channel, drawing channel, but I enjoy creating this kind of content a lot more.
We need to get her on Let's Draw. We have to get her on Let's Draw.
Or the joy of hobbying live. Let's fucking go.
Hey, there you go.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Been really into Warhammer lately.
Yeah, definitely. And last but not least, I'm working on a few series of my own, a few streams, where I'll be having people on. I always said that 300 subscribers was my goal, and I'm not sure if I've hit that already. I haven't checked, but yeah, it's really exciting. And I do Rise and Chai with Lael over at 16 Scale Man on my Friday mornings, his Thursday nights, and I do a show with Reviews with Rich, where we just talk film and talk shop, which is really nice. And that's on my Wednesday mornings, his Tuesday night.
It looks like you have hit 301 subscribers. So
Hey.
we dropped your
Oh,
link there.
wow. Thank
Let's
you.
make sure that we subscribe
Thank you,
to
guys.
Leslie's channel. We're gonna
Definitely.
hopefully more than 301 by the end of this.
So, a follow-up question. You alluded to some of the goals that you have, for expanding the channel. What are some other goals for the channel in 2023?
Oh, look, I'd love to keep doing more film essays. I really enjoy being creative with my words, and I love films. I really do. I would love to see it grow, and I would love to help others grow as well. And I think, just be a pillar for each other, in the YouTube world, because it's definitely not just me. I mean, it's, I'm not the only one trying to grow. There's hundreds of thousands of channels out there, and I would really love to see my channel in 2023 be embraced, as far as the content that I'm putting out with regards to figures and film and possibly music. We'll see how that goes. But I think it's there's no harm in wanting to see it succeed in the right way, in the proper way.
Is that what you'd say is kind of like your favorite part of content creation then? Or like if you had to kind of put words to it, what would be your favorite part of content creation for people or for yourself?
My favorite part of content creation is that it really satisfies my creative side. And, especially in the digital space, I love clipping, clips together. I love telling stories. I love entertaining people as well. I just find it to be so much fun. And I've really enjoyed meeting so many people along the way, fellow content creators and very, very talented people, artists, and it's been a very rewarding experience, and I'm very sad that I left 2 years ago, but I'm very glad that I came back
100%.
because I missed
That's
it.
awesome.
I really did miss it.
I think that's a great question. What brought you back? Because when we first met, I was like, I feel like I've heard of you before, but it was kind of around when we had kind of first started dipping into the 16 Scale weekly news, and then you were like everywhere, and then we hadn't seen you for a while, and when you popped back up, I was like, oh yeah, that's Leslie, but we hadn't became acquainted yet. Was there like something that it happened, you're like, I'm coming back, I'm gonna do it, or was it just sort of a gradual thing?
Well, what happened was I took a break to get my own mental health, in check, because I think we can all agree that at times this community can take it out of you, especially if you put yourself on the line of being an outlet for various collectors. And that's what I did. So I took a break, we got a dog, and I really enjoyed watching him grow up. I experienced a few things on my hiatus, which put a lot of things into perspective for me. And, I realized that I was missing that satisfying creative juice that just fueled me. And I've kept in touch with Justin over the years. And, I said, look, I'm thinking of creating the news again on my channel with your blessing, because I used to be on his, and he's swamped nowadays. And he really doesn't need any more content on his channel. He's got his own. So I really missed doing the news. I loved the research part of it. I loved the figures part of it and seeing what, companies were releasing, 2 years down the line, if they'd improved, if they'd, done anything engineering wise. And I think, what I told myself was that I shouldn't have let certain dramas and toxicity ruin something that I found genuinely fulfilling and fun to do, something that I genuinely enjoyed, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to just create a faceless Instagram, ease myself into it very slowly, just create whatever content I want, post whatever I want, and let the chips fall where they may. And I started to enjoy it a lot more. And I noticed that when I just focused on myself and what I was doing and didn't get involved in any other personal what have yous in the community, I was in my element and I really enjoyed it again. So I stuck with it, and here I am.
I love that outlook.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you came here and you agreed with reissues. Now I'm stressing out. Like, oh.
John,
John's gonna need to take a mental health break.
It depends.
Go ahead, Marco.
That's awesome.
Thank you for the question.
okay, apologies here. I think I've got the last question. So, what other channels have you been on if people want to see more of your content?
Look, I will have more 16 figure news up on Super Chat. Do you want to read that out quickly?
No, we'll get to that after. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
get to that.
Okay. I'll have more episodes 16 figure news up on Chris's Batman Statue Collector channel. Again, just the licensed stuff. I do a weekly show with Layal, 16 Scale Man, and a weekly show with Reviews with Rich. And I will, of course, be doing my own content. I was, of course, on Justin's channel a few eons ago, which was really fun. But for the moment, I'm just not necessarily trying to stay low key, but I've become really smashed and slammed with time. So I'm just taking it easy. Yeah, lots of invitations, which is great. I'm really enjoying meeting, a broader section of the community. I was with Ian Logan just over the weekend, another fellow Aussie. We did Pose Up together, which was really fun. Of course, Shane reached out to me. He was the first one to reach out to me on 16 Figure Focus. And we just had a really decent chat. It was great to meet him. So I've featured on his channel with Visions once before. It's been a busy 3 to 4 weeks, I'd say. But yeah, and now you guys. So
There
it's
you
been a
go.
pleasure.
Save the best for last.
Best-
You love it. I'm just kidding. hopefully this isn't your last time here on Collecting Weekly. And
Of course.
again, we'll drop your link there in the comments. And
Thank you.
Leslie's a great content creator, very professional. We were chatting before the show, and we are kind of laughing at some of the things our cohorts do, and it kind of stress us out as creators. And definitely look forward to what you have. And
I'm sorry, Zach. I think the handle's wrong because I actually recently changed it. YouTube actually let me. I think
okay.
it's Marvelous Official 1. But just check because it should be.
Yeah, when
I don't
click
know
your-
if people can find me on there with that
yeah,
one.
when I go to your YouTube and copy the link at the top, it's that one.
I think there was a
Okay.
period of time when you transitioned
Yeah, it takes about a
from one
week.
to the other.
Right.
You
okay.
can
As
get
long
that
as
from
it's
both.
as long as it's still